Hi Miguel, how are you today?
Hi, Andrea. How are you?
Hey, very good, thank you. Great,
I'm
great
fine. I'm
Miguel.
fine. I'm
Fantastic, great,
fine.
great to have you here with us today. Very, very happy here on VirtualPiazza to present you and to present your work. We've been sharing some of your pieces on the VirtualPiazza Instagram page, and we saw a lot of interest in your work. So we thought that it was high time that we show what to the audience what's behind the work of art, right? So we thought
Okay. I have
uh,
seen the page. It's great.
you see
It
it? Great.
looks good.
Go follow at Virtual Piazza on
Okay.
Instagram. And of course, we'll put also the details of Miguel's account in the description of the video. So great. So Miguel, for the ones watching the video, so can you tell us a little bit about your background? So where you're from, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm an artist that I live in Buenos Aires. I'm based here, and I have studied for many years painting at the university, and I have done my working in the academical art. I have been working in the university for a lot of years, and I have been researching in painting. So painting for me it's a way to research the world, my reality, my life, well, everything.
Wow, that's great. So you've been an artist for a long time. It's saying that you are an artist, the right definition, or is that too limiting? How do you describe yourself typically?
Well, to be an artist is a way of life. If you are an artist, you think like an artist, you feel like an artist, and everything in your life is seen through the art. So, so when you study art, when you study painting or other things in art, you feel that you feel it's in your feelings, it's in your thoughts. So so art is the way that I conceive the world and things.
So really everything, for you, like you look at everything with the lenses of art, right? You filter everything with that.
Okay.
Right. No, very, very interesting. Very interesting. So I'm sure that being based in Buenos Aires, right? I know the city is extremely lively, very multicultural. How did the city and growing up there, influence you from an artistic perspective?
Of course, because we live in that's, as you have said, is a multicultural city. A lot of immigrants have arrived. My family comes from Italy, and all people that I know come from Europe. Their
Right.
ancestors came from Europe, and we have another part of the population that come from America, are natives from here, from these lands before Europeans have came here. So we have a great diversity, and it's
That's
important
great.
for our way of feeling reality, because we have a mix in different cultures: European, American, and
Uh-huh.
African. But this mix of cultures have made what we are here now. A lot of artists have faced this problem, because it is a great problem for us to know who we are, because we are. For instance, I came from my family came from Europe, but other families come from other parts of the world, and natives, and who we are. That's a question for us. It's
That's
a
a very
great
good point.
question to answer. Yes, yes, it's a great question for us because we are not Europeans, we are not African, and we are not American. But who
Yes.
we are? Well, many artists have worked on the research of that, and it's a great thing to think about that.
Yes, ultimately, also with what is going on in the world now, I think that taking this, the fact that in many places now, right, we come to live together with different cultures, different languages, different backgrounds, and that's really a great opportunity, right, to take to take this different pieces and go for the the what we usually say, right, the 1 + 1 = 3. So different pieces that are different and come together to make something that goes beyond, right, the individual parts, and so this is this research of where we come from. I think that's an interesting point, because I think in your works you can definitely feel that there is a lot of introspection, of research as well, of of thinking about these big questions, right? So how important are these big questions to your creative process typically?
Well, it's a central question because I have faced the history painting. It's a genre that is very used, hackneyed in Europe, in Occidental painting, and I have been from a local perspective. I have been working it because history is from where you come. History
Right.
is what made you what you are. Your personal history and your people history has made what you are. So thinking about history is thinking about who you are and who you will be in the future. So, well, I like very much to to work in history, in history painting. I like very much to work in portraits because portraits, it's not only a face or a body. It's the soul. It's the soul, and it's everything about that people who is portrayed there. So you paint not only a physiognomy, you paint everything and its history on what the person is. So, well, it's very important for me, that perspective of diversity and richness about culture.
And I think what you just mentioned is very interesting, Miguel. Also because I think that nowadays people tend to associate portraits with something a bit old, right? Or meaning art of a different times that is not contemporary anymore. I think that with your works, what we see is that still portrait can be innovated in a sense, right? Can still be a very very powerful means of communication for exactly this introspective point that you were mentioning.
Well, about portraits, I can say to you that
Yes.
when you paint something, it's a way to know it. Let's think about a tree, for instance.
Yes.
Uh, when you paint a tree, uh, you you have to know it in depth. So I paint a tree and try to paint one, and that tree will never be the same tree to you because
Of
you
course.
will know it in depth. Because painting is not only an image. Painting is a form, a way to know. And when you paint people, when you portray people, it's a way to know in depth. And to know in depth is to know about his or her dreams, his or her history, his or her thoughts. So culture and life history is present in portraits. Portraits have blood in.
Yes.
I don't think it's a genre. From the past. I think it's from now. It's real. It's real for today.
Definitely. Yes, definitely. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Miguel, and with your analysis. I think portraits are great. It's a shame we don't see more artists, experimenting a bit with this nowadays. But yeah, no, that's great. And so we're talking a lot about paint. I will get to this in a second. But of course, you paint both inanimate objects and and people. So what's the difference there for you? In what you want to communicate. Is there something that comes natural? Picking, say, a portrait versus a landscape, or how does that happen? Is just the inspiration guiding you?
Well, it's almost the same, because when you paint people, well, it's okay, but when you paint a landscape, or for instance, you paint a cityscape, when it's where people live, is where people feel. It's a city is the way you have the relations with each other. City is our cultural place where we are, where we live, where what we are is about city, because city is the way of life of Occidental people now.
Yes.
So to paint portraits, or to paint cities, or to paint history is almost the same for me, because it's a research about who we know, what we think, what we feel. So it's a research about my people, my personal history, and so I like to abord that problem in different ways. So portraits, it's a way, and cityscapes or landscapes, it's another way, and you have history like for another way, but everything is the same.
I see. Okay. Interesting. So, as I was saying, we're talking a lot about paintings, right? So, correct me if I'm wrong. Nowadays, your focus is on painting, right? So, can you tell us a bit more about the technical aspect of your art? Maybe a bit about paintings in general, and if in the past you've experimented with different different mediums.
Okay, I have experimented some other things, of course, in painting and in other arts like sculpture. I
Yes,
like sculpture very much, very much. It's a great art. It's really a great art. I love it. But I do not it because painting is my way to express my art. I feel painting, so I have done painting a lot of time, but that not means that I do not like other arts, and I have made them, and I do them occasionally. but I do them. And in painting, I love oil painting, of course. It's it's great, and acrylics and
Okay.
watercolors. So these three techniques are what I use, and where I do my work. Well, they are great, and they are different. So what you do in watercolors you cannot do in oil, because are different ways, of painting, are different ways of face the problem, the act of painting is different. The painting in oil and the painting in watercolors is it's not the same. It's not the same. Are different ways to face, and the act of painting it's really very important for the painter, for because you are painter when you face the canvas, when you face with the technical and problems and your feelings. It's well it's like a game between feelings and techniques, and technique and thought, hard thought and the technique. Well, it's great. But the different techniques are different ways to face the same.
Okay. Yeah, that's very interesting, and I think you also communicate a lot of passion also when when you talk about the different techniques. I think that's
Oh
just really
well,
great, you know. And
because I love it. Because I love it. I love painting. I love it very much.
that's no, that's really nice, and I think it's a lot of inspiration, right? And for other artists as well. And speaking about inspiration, is there some artists that you kind of look up to?
Oh,
Not
oh.
necessarily and not necessarily in the past, right? But what about also contemporary artists, for example?
I have a lot. I have
Big
a lot
question, huh?
because yes, a big question. An artist that have inspired me a lot is Lucian Freud,
Mhm.
uh, English artist. It's for me. It's one of the painters I have seen. There are another painters, local painters. One of them, his name is Carlos Alonso. Carlos Alonso is an Argentinian painter that is really a great artist. Really, I admire him very much because he's great. And I have a lot of influences, and I have seen a lot of painters as well. um, when there was no COVID, I, I went to Europe. I went to Europe once a year, because I love to go to museums and to see art. Europe has a great art, and America has great art too. It's not the same, but we have here in America have a great artists. But when there was no COVID, and I hope this problem will be solved in
Fingers
a short
crossed.
time, uh, we will be in Europe to visit museums, because I love Velasquez. Velasquez is for me
Yes,
the greatest painter in history, and
a good choice.
can't wait to see Velasquez en el Prado, Museo del Prado in Madrid.
Yes,
It's
Madrid.
great, great. I
Yes,
spend hours when I go to El Prado. I spend hours in one room to see Velasquez, because when you see Velasquez, you learn how to paint, and you know that I have to live 1,000 years to paint like him. But I do what I can.
yeah. Yes, I think or rather, I heard about Iago, who's this this sculpture now, this modern sculpture based out of Italy, and I was saying that a lot of people come to him saying, "Look, I want to be as good as you are, in sculpture." He says, "Why would you tell me this? You need to look up to someone." To the best, right? That's the only way that we can move forward. And I think that's very important statement. It's always important in art, to try to innovate, definitely. At the same time, it must you can innovate only as far as you know what came before you, right? And what were the innovations, in the times that came before us. So yes, this learning and studying and seeing and experiencing, I think that just cannot be replaced. And yeah, COVID made this a lot
Wow.
harder, to be honest.
Okay.
But yes, let's
For
hope
all
it.
of us.
Yeah, right. For
For all
really
of us.
across the world, and this is a really
Yes.
big issue for the art, let's say, market, as in for all the people, right, involved in the art world. So since we needed to touch the COVID topic, right? It's just we cannot avoid it nowadays. Was during this periods of quarantine and staying at home, and being always having this idea of COVID in your mind. How has that influenced your work?
Well, I have done work, very small work about COVID. Well, that I will send to
Still to
you.
see that. Still to see that.
Okay, I have done inspired in Carlos Alonso. He has a work, very similar work, but inspired in him. But I have done a work about COVID because COVID has changed our lives.
Mhm.
That's incredible what happened in the world. Well,
Yes.
so we are here, but here, well, I have been at home a long time, so it gave me the chance to paint, to work. Being at home gave me the chance to make an introspection about what I feel, what I think. So I try to make this lockdown. I try to make that good. It's bad. We know it's something that we don't like, and people is suffering this, but no way. We
Yeah.
have to make it positive. We have to worry. I use this time to work, to think, to to think about everything, and how can I wake and how can I produce new works. So well, it's not a good time, but well, we are here and we have to face that problem, and go on and go on.
Yes, I mean, even in these adversities, we need to make the most out of it, right? And take the
Yes.
yes, take the best out of those. Hoping that it will get better. I think that definitely is something that is interesting. I don't know if that's you know good or bad, but definitely art has shifted more and more. The ways that people consume art, the way people buy art, the way people share art has become more and more of digital, right? It's becoming
Okay.
and that's definitely a big change that probably is there to stay, right? It's not something that will go. That's that's a change that definitely some positives and some cons. Definitely a positive is that at Virtual Piazza we managed to get in touch with you, Miguel. So that
Yes, yeah.
that is definitely a very good one. And how do you feel about about these developments in the art world, and how you know yeah, how do you perceive them as an artist, right? So coming from that side.
Well, your project is great. Your project is
Thank you.
great. It's
Thank you.
great because you have a young project and very good, very well done. I think that your proposal was great from the first moment, and virtual is what we can, is what will come from now. Think about today workers here. It's told that when the lockdown has ended, workers will continue to work from home.
Yes.
So COVID has changed our lives. I think virtuality will be more present in our lives, and the way to see art, to sell art, to buy art has changed. So projects like Virtual Piazza are great because they know they are anticipating what will come, and I think that's very interesting and very good. So well, I decided to join your project, and I decided
Great.
to work with you because I think I have a lot of faith that's the way to do things in the future.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Miguel, for the kind
Uh,
words. Very happy to have you on board, and to be sharing, with everyone, your work, and you as an artist, right? I think
okay. Yeah.
that's very great.
Okay.
These were the main points I want to discuss with this talk. I'm sure this is not the last time that we get to bring to the viewers, more about Miguel's works and Miguel as an artist. So really looking forward to that. So thank you again, Miguel. Where can our viewers find you? I mean, the first one, of course, I mentioned on virtualpiazza.org. You can find a lot of Miguel's work are available for you, and you can learn more about the artist.